For countless generations, humanity has looked up at the full moon with a sense of wonder and profound curiosity. Its brilliant, silver light transforms the familiar landscape of our world into something altogether different, something mysterious and alive. It is a celestial event that has woven itself into our folklore, our art, our deepest questions about the natural world. One of the most persistent of these questions concerns the creatures with whom we share this planet. Do they too feel the moon's influence? Does this sudden flood of nightly illumination change their behavior, especially one of the most fundamental behaviors of all, the quest for food? The idea that animals act differently under a full moon is as old as our own stories, passed down through generations of hunters, fishermen, farmers. The question is no longer just folklore, it is now a subject of rigorous scientific inquiry. At the heart of the moon's influence on animal life lies a fundamental trade-off, a delicate balancing act between two opposing forces, opportunity and peril. The first and most obvious effect of a full moon is the dramatic increase in ambient light. For many nocturnal animals, this sudden illumination is a gift. Predators that rely on sight to locate their next meal, lions, certain owls, may find their hunting grounds transformed into a far more productive arena. The brighter light allows them to spot movement from further away, to track their quarry with greater precision, and to execute a successful hunt with less effort. However, the same light creates grave danger for the hunted. A small rodent scurrying across an open field, a fish swimming near the water's surface suddenly becomes a conspicuous target. Long before scientists began deploying satellite tags, motion-activated cameras, humans developed systems to predict animal behavior from celestial cycles. Perhaps the most famous is the solunar theory, introduced in the 1920s by John Alden Knight. He proposed solar and lunar forces, like those driving tides, trigger activity peaks. His theory produced tables with major feeding periods and shorter minor periods, believed most intense at full and new moon phases. The logic is compelling, but simplified. Despite popularity, solunar tables have little scientific support. Rigorous tests on fish feeding and wildlife movements generally find no consistent correlation with major or minor periods. Other variables, water temperature, weather fronts, barometric pressure, time of day, and food, are stronger drivers. Lunar cycles matter, but via light and ecology more than gravity alone. As we move from folklore to fact, modern science reveals no single, universal rule. Responses form a diverse tapestry of behaviors. Each species' role, senses, and habitat shape its response. The primary mechanism is variation in nocturnal light levels. This lunar phobia drives many prey to caution. Mid-chain species juggle being both predator and prey. Prey generally become more cautious. Desert studies show reduced foraging outside burrows on bright nights. Some predators lose stealth on brightest nights as prey vigilance rises. Echolocating bats are affected indirectly if insects reduce activity. The full moon modulates interactions, amplifying some, muting others, rather than creating behavior from thin air. An animal's evolution, sensory reliance, camouflage, and habitat determine whether the full moon is a time of feast or fear. Delving deeper reveals variety beyond land predators and prey. In birds, moonlight can profoundly influence behavior. European nightjars are more active on moonlit nights. Increased visibility turns the full moon into a banquet of flying insects. Owls in open habitats benefit. In dense forests, changes are smaller. Moths navigate by moonlight, but are derailed by artificial lights. The moon's influence reaches the oceans. The nightly vertical migration of zooplankton is immense. On bright full moon nights, the migration is suppressed. They stay deeper to avoid visual predators. This shift alters feeding for fish, squid, and other marine predators. The effects cascade through the food web. Even insects like antlion larvae build larger pits under a full moon. Key studies quantify these behaviors and their lunar links. Understanding lunar influence offers practical wisdom. A full moon often means prey like deer and elk are more cautious. They stick to cover and shift feeding to dusk, dawn, or even midday. Darker nights around the new moon can be more productive for hunts. Full moon nights can frustrate prey shoots but favor visual predators. Listen for owls. Scan open fields for foxes or coyotes on the move. Surveys must account for moon phase to avoid undercounting light-shy species. Lunar timing can inform patrols when animals, or poachers, use available light. Typical tendencies. Deer reduce and grow cautious. kangaroo rats cut foraging. Barn owls increase hunts in open. Lions face vigilant prey. Nightjars forage more. Zooplankton remain deeper. Badgers travel less. Use these as guides, not guarantees. Local conditions, weather, and food often dominate. Plan around the lunar cycle to turn chance encounters into strategic opportunities. Science has illuminated much, but the picture is incomplete. The dance between moonlight and behavior still hides many puzzles. Do lunar cycles influence hormones, reproduction, and internal clocks? Coral spawning hints? Yes. Beyond vision, how do scent and sound worlds reshape responses under bright or dark nights? Monthly cycles may have sculpted caution, camouflage, and sensory acuity over millennia. The most valuable lesson is to observe and embrace nature's complexity with humility. To know your wildlife under a full moon, go outside, watch, and listen. The moon invites each generation to look up and wonder, and to explore the vibrant world that awakens under its silvery light.